Welcome in, Shelly.
Hello.
There we go. Okay. I was like, okay, I thought I was just going crazy for a second. It's really cool to have you in the studio and to have you in the studio for these healthy school advocacy days and really these healthy school food pushes. It's amazing, though. You know, sometimes when we came on the first time, you know, just kind of, I guess, maybe educating individuals in a way that's not saying, you know, right or wrong, but here's just what you're doing. And it seems like there's been a lot of success along the way. A lot of reps have, you know, come down here locally and been a part of, drop-in days. They've spent time down here with local students. How's everything been going since the last time I spoke with you?
It's been going great. We just went to Washington, D.C. for a day of advocacy to talk to all of our congressional members out in Washington. And it was one of the most successful advocacy trips I have ever had out there.
Really good.
Yes, it was very, very inspiring and reassuring, like we're on the right road. You know, nothing ever moves as quickly as we want it to, but
right.
It's all heading in the right direction.
Well, and I think that that's really important, too, because, I mean, it's such a simple thing. In the world right now that we live in of, it seems like everything's so damn complicated,
right.
And there's all these, things going on. You know, healthy food in schools really should be such a, really, I think, an easy hoop to grab, but still, there's such a need for advocacy and really to bring legislators together on this.
It is. In D.C., we spoke with 16 out of our 17 Illinois congressional members. I mean, that's
Wow.
huge. Just their offices, because it was back in the district week for them. They were not in session. So we did speak with all of their offices. And, you know, the guys in the offices, those are the people in the offices are the ones that really get the things in front of our congressional members to say, hey, look at this. I mean, we had some amazing meetings. And I will tell you, every single one that I personally had, so I met with 6 different offices, and every single one of them said the same thing. Tell people to contact us. Mm-hmm. We want to hear from people. And
well, yeah, and it has to be that way. And
yes,
you spoke about this before, you know, when it comes to, you know, really letting your legislators know what you want. Because right. In districts of hundreds of thousands of people, and sometimes even, you know, it could get up there close to 1 million, it's hard to make sure every voice is heard and every topic's identified too. Right.
I mean, a lot of times people will tell me, you know, well, I've contacted them, or I've never even thought of contacting them.
Yeah.
The congressional one, your federal representatives, just like your state representatives and senators, they all want to hear from you. They apparently have plenty of time to answer the phones and talk to you. So talk to them, call them, let your, whatever it is, they want to hear from you.
Well, and now how long have you been pushing for this, and how long have you been really advocating and going up and doing these days now and pushing for healthy school food options?
So I have been advocating out in D.C. This was my 5th trip.
Wow.
And like I said, out of 5 years, this was my favorite one.
That's awesome.
And but for healthy school meals, the initiative, I've been doing that for a year now, and we have gotten a lot of traction with that. The Illinois Healthy School Meals for All Coalition has been working hard with the American Heart Association and others to get this. We've got the Public Act. It's in play. Pritzker signed it. I love it. He signed it into law on my birthday in 2023, so I'm kind of partial to it, but you know, I mean, the coalition's been working hard, and we're actually getting a little bit of traction, I feel, so.
Well, and now that's what I was curious about, because you've said now that this has been one of the most successful trip in the 5 year, or the 5. You know, what defines success for you? You know, what did you see this time around that was a little different?
Every office that we met, a majority of the offices that we met with, the staffers were all engaged.
Okay.
They were prepared. They asked questions. They had great insight, and we were able to answer all of their questions. Thankfully, you know, but if we don't know the answer, we do get back with them. But I mean, they were all engaged, and the meetings felt valuable. Mm-hmm. They didn't feel like they were just brushing us off, you know, which some of those have been that way in the past.
Oh, I bet.
So it was great. I had one congressional office that we figure about 15 to 30 minutes time.
Okay.
And we actually spoke for an hour, which threw me behind my other appointments, which happens. But when they give you the time, you take that time because we won't be back out there for another year. But
right.
we're doing a lot of work locally, but it was amazing.
Well, and too, I feel like it's got to be tough right now because it's not like this is a campaign issue.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It'd
right.
be a lot different if you guys were, whatever campaign topic you want to throw out there, pick one and stick to it, and you'd probably get more time. So to have this success during a campaign year is really, I think, really important.
Yes, it was huge. We also met with both senators' offices out
that's
there.
cool.
So yeah, Duckworth and Durbin both gave our committee time, and it was so amazing because, like I said, we met with 16 out of 17 offices plus both senators, and that's the first time that has ever happened. Normally, when we go, if we don't have an appointment, we just drop off the information, but we actually had time with every single office but one. So
wow, that's fantastic. Well, and now what do you think? What do you think are the challenges that lay ahead when it comes to getting us across the finish line?
Well, when you talk about healthy school meals for all, for free. Nothing in life is free.
It's true.
It has to be funded, and if it's funded, how are we going to fund it? Well, it'll probably be a tax, but it's not a property tax issue. That doesn't come through on your property tax. The best way to explain property tax issues are the cafeterias in your school are federally funded. Mm-hmm. So anytime, whether it's unpaid meal debt or food bills or milk bills, whatever, staffing, payroll, if you don't have enough money to pay that, then that's when your property taxes come into play, and that money has to come out of what they call the general ed fund. Mm-hmm. So we'll just use an example. I'm not saying that this is my district. It's just an example. If we were $40,000 negative, I didn't have enough money to pay that $40,000. That money, that $40,000, because my bills have to be paid at the end of the year, would come out of the general ed fund.
Right.
Pulling that out of the general ed fund then pulls money away from the education side. So then that's when your property taxes come into play. So if we were federally funded, we wouldn't have to be pulling that.
Well, that's what I was going to, if there was just a reallocation almost in a way too, because I'm sure you can find a line item somewhere that, and I'm not saying that's the case, but even if it's a reallocation or pulling, when we say pulling, somebody's going to go, well, you're taking money away from an area. That could be the case, but just see what that area is, because I'm sure then these huge budgets that there could be that wiggle room there.
Right. We need to find the wiggle room.
Well, it makes sense on property taxes too, because I know that that's what everyone, anyone that hears where the word free goes, well, I'm going to get taxed on this somewhere. Mm-hmm. And it's good to know the discrepancy. So if the district really is managed, well too, not even from a federal standpoint, you could, in all theory, be just fine.
Right.
But it'd be nice to have the safety net of the federal government to fund that and make sure that you really wouldn't need to worry about it anyway.
Right. I would appreciate if it was federally funded, and if we need the money, if we show that we need the money, then that money does, and we can get that money appointed appropriations. If we can get those appropriations for us, then that money's not going to go somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So, we need to start looking and see where is this money going? Why can't we put it all into the school? And, the kids are required to be there. And I just can't even imagine. When your kids go to daycare, yes, you pay for daycare. But when they go to daycare, they get breakfast, they get lunch, and, it's in your daycare cost.
Well, and too, I think we're on this point where it's, the healthy food movement is starting, I think, really overwhelm people. It's really going to be here before we know it. And it's already kind of creeping its head in with, the healthy food options. But to really go back into this point, would it be something where you think that you would have to identify that, here's what, the funding would allocate for, for in terms of food or in terms of, what those contracts look like? Is that part of it?
Yes, I can show you an infographic.
Oh, I like those.
That tells you.
Thank you.
So the federal government reimburses us $470 for every school lunch.
Okay.
All right. And when you're looking at this infographic, it's not just the food. It shows you that out of that 470, everything else we have to pay for out of that 470.
Right.
So it used to be, you see that it's not just food is small, and then it's so much more is bigger. Mm-hmm. So it used to be the opposite. It used to be our biggest expense was our food. And now it's the so much more. It's when you're talking healthy food and healthy meals, getting back to real food, which we all are behind.
Yeah.
We're all school nutrition professionals are behind having healthy school meals for all, feeding them the most real food. But not everybody knows how to cook from scratch. So you have to train people. Not all kitchens are set up to cook stuff from scratch.
Yeah.
So that's an infrastructure issue. I mean, that 470 isn't going to get you much when you look at what you have to spend it on.
Well, and I mean, if you think about this from just a simple breakdown, you name me the last time you've spent $470 on any food item for yourself. I mean, that's a decent meal. Right. I mean, you can go to McDonald's. I mean, even then, you're close to it, and it's not the best option out there. Right. So I mean, it really is. And when you talk about the software side of things and the equipment and utilities, and you bring into the play the employment side of things, because you have to take care of the people that are cooking the food too. Right. There's a lot that goes into that. So there is. I think if can we scan this, or
Absolutely.
Can you give us a digital copy?
Yeah, I can email you a digital copy.
Email that, and we'll put it in the write-up, because that's really fascinating. Yeah. Hey, it's 9:35. We'll take a quick break. We're going to come back and chat it up with Shelly some more. You stay there, and we'll be here, RiverBender.com, Roku TV.
Firearms training shouldn't feel intimidating. At Precision Point Armory in Bethalto, we focus on safety, confidence, and real-world skills. Whether you're new or renewing your concealed carry, you'll get professional instruction without pressure. Learn safe handling, sound decision-making, and proper techniques tailored to your experience level. If you're looking for premium firearms training in the heart of Bethalto, Illinois, call 618-779-9947 or go to precisionpointarmory.net and train with confidence today.
Struggling with depression that just won't go away? At Precision TMS, we offer a non-invasive, drug-free treatment designed to target the areas of the brain linked to mood regulation. Using FDA-cleared transcranial magnetic stimulation, gentle magnetic pulses help reactivate underperforming brain circuits without surgery or sedation. Many patients experience real relief, even after other treatments haven't worked. Our experienced team provides personalized care every step of the way. Contact Precision TMS today to see if TMS therapy is right for you.
Accidents happen in a heartbeat, but lives change forever. Whether it's a car crash, workplace injury, medical malpractice, or wrongful death, you don't have to face the consequences alone. Keith Short and Associates brings over 33 years of experience and a reputation for fighting fiercely for your rights. For relentless representation that you can trust, call Keith Short and Associates at 618-254-0055 today for a free consultation.
What's up? It's Mike Keith. What's up, bro? Back to spotlight other amazing alumni and how they discovered their path at Lewis and Clark. Let's jump into it. This is Tom Wells,
an assistant chief of the Godfrey Fire District. He has been a firefighter and an EMT for over 20 years. Tom is currently an instructor in the Lewis and Clark Paramedicine program and has 2 degrees from LC, fire science and nursing.
I'm Tom Wills, and I'm a trailblazer.
If you think you might be pregnant, you don't have to face it alone. At Vitality Women's Clinic, you'll find the care you deserve. We offer confidential, no-cost pregnancy testing, ultrasounds, and STI testing. Our team is here to listen, support you, and help you understand your options without pressure or judgment. Walk in or make an appointment today. Call 618-466-1690 or visit vitalitywomensclinic.org. Vitality Women's Clinic, clear answers, real support.
Welcome back, Daily Show, 9:37. In with Shelly. You know, I'm just telling you, this tree pollen, I taken a Claritin already today, but my nose feels like there's just like ants crawling in it, you know, like I just got to sneeze all the time.
Yeah.
You know, technical difficulties aside, this was a really good segment because, I mean, I keep looking at this, $4.70 to stretch per child per school lunch. And now, you know, how many students do you think, and I only ask this because I'm sure this is a question I've seen it commented before, how many students bring their lunch compared to needing a meal provided for? Do you know? And I shouldn't say needing because every child really needs one.
Right.
But how many rely on the school food compared to food from home?
So I would say that most schools serve about 75%.
Okay.
So about 25% of the kids are bringing their lunch. And when you work with the public, you're not going to make everybody happy, and I get that. But
25%. I thought it would be higher, but it makes sense though because now that I think about it, not a lot of kids in high school brought their lunches because we'd forget them throughout the day or eat them before lunch ever happened.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Fascinating. Well, now, so when you're talking with legislators or you're going up there here in a couple of weeks, what's the biggest goal?
Our goal is to get everyone to sign on board and say, yes, we support healthy school meals for all, and let's get it funded.
Right. And so that's step one, is just saying we support it.
Right.
It's not saying here's how we get it done.
Right.
And see, that's where it needs to go back to. I think it's just, if you break it down for what the issue is, do we want this, yes or no?
Right.
Yes, great. Let's find a way to fund it. Awesome. If you can't, then you can. Now, for this, I feel like you're going to be able to find funding. Other things, maybe not. But for school food and healthy school options, I don't think there's a hard equation if we really just all work together.
Right.
So I think it's great going up there, and hopefully you can get all of them to go ahead and sign on up to this and say, let's get this through the finish line.
Right. I agree. Hopefully they will all sign on. I mean, and part of it is building the relationship with them and explaining it to them.
Well, and now when you go up to the state house and you go up and meet with state legislators, is it one of those things too, because I know federal funding would be the biggest goal, right?
Right.
Would it be to get them to just say, hey, let's start working together to get that federal funding, or would it be, let's acknowledge that let's acknowledge that we're going to support this, and if we can't get federal funding, how can we look at our own? I mean, is there a way to do that?
Yes, there is a way to do that.
Okay.
We are advocating for Healthy School Meals for All. Coalition is advocating for $67 million in appropriations, which, excuse me, back in 2009, Governor Ronner cut our funding, and that took it from $220 million down to $9 million. And then,
whoa.
Yeah. And we've never gotten an increase. We haven't gotten an increase since then. So the coalition, thanks to Representative West and Senator Ellman for their two bills asking for the appropriations, they asked for $67 million. $67 million would help fund the neediest school districts.
Mm-hmm.
So it basically, we had the state of Illinois gave every free meal 15 cents. And that was their contribution. And then when Ronner cut that took it down to 9 cents. And then some schools aren't even getting the 9 cents. They're only getting like 2 to 4 cents. So, I mean, we're being underfunded totally. And the $9 million is the minimum amount that the state is required to pay to be in the program federally. So for the state to give us back the money that we should have at 15 cents, that would be a $220 million funding. And then the federal funding would cover all of that. That
makes sense.
The state's portion. But with SNAP cuts, now the state has to make up $53 million a month to support the SNAP cut benefits that they've done. And I mean, it's just, it's like we're chasing our tail constantly, and it's like, can we just find this money somewhere?
Right.
I did a calculation quickly, and I know that since COVID happened, I haven't been able to math the best way that I used to be able to math, but we figured it out that $36.50 a year from, we'll call it the club because I don't want to call it the taxpayers, but there's 6.9 million taxpayers in the state of Illinois. If we all paid $36.50 a year, that would give us all of our funding, the $220 million every year to sustain our programs.
Wow.
And I don't think that $36.50, I know $36.50 is a lot of money to people. I understand that.
Yeah.
But I don't have children in the districts anymore. But so I would say, here, I'll pay $100 and use that money, because it's going to feed the kids, and we need the kids fed so that they can learn, so that we can produce these educated students. That, how do we know that?
Well, right. And I think that if you really, I hate to say it, but if you put it on a ballot and said, here, pick your top 5 funding opportunities this year, instead of doing it where it's just the state gets to pick your budget on here's what they're funding this year. If it went to the voters and said, we can fund school meals and we can fund this, I think the budgets would look a hell of a lot different, each and every year. And I think that's a no-brainer one.
I would agree with that. But also at the same time, voters have to vote.
Yeah, that's true.
I went to...
That's so true.
I just went to vote last week, and at 5:30 at night in our polling place, I was voter 167.
It's terrible. It's so terrible. And it's one of those things where you look at these these counts and you're going 14,000. We have 184,000, or forget the number of registered voters.
Right.
It's really eye-opening, and it makes me frustrated, Shelly, because then you see the individuals that get frustrated on social media about things, and you aren't participating in the civic engagement portion of being a citizen here. You know, what else can we talk about for now?
Reach out to your representative and your senators in Illinois and tell them, that we're coming up. We'll be in Springfield April 15th to speak to our personal representatives and senators, but tell them we're out there. We're coming up, and if they need to schedule time, I'm happy to talk to anyone that wants to reach out and schedule a time with me while we're up there, as well as my own. I'll be meeting with Senator Harris, Representative Ellick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I'll be meeting with Senator Tracy and Representative Davidsmeyer. They're all 4 amazing people advocating for our community and our community members. So I know they support us, and hopefully we'll get them to sign on that they support us. But yeah, I'll meet with anyone. So
fantastic. Shelly, it's always great talking with you. We'll link everything in a write-up on RiverBender.com, including this information graphic here. That would be really good, I think, for the public to see. And always appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Let me know how it goes.
All right.
We'll take a quick break, come back and wrap up the 9 next.
If you think